Hey, y'all. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Scared of Beautiful. My name is Plez. If you all saw the thumbnail, you know that today is my 40th birthday. Y'all, I just rushed home and I was like, oh, I will set up a different place to do this live, and I hate the lighting. It sucks. So I probably won't ever do this again. I have to figure out a good space for lighting. But we're just gonna go with this because this is just gonna be a laid back like talk with you all. I may not even keep this one up, but I just really wanted to come and talk to you all. And thank you so much for the birthday wishes between YouTube and Instagram. And really give my gratitude to you all. But also, I've been very reflective over this milestone birthday. So I was really thinking about things that I would want to share with younger women, even if you aren't younger than me or if you're my age, right? We can learn things from each other. And that's what I really want this platform to be about. People sharing their lives, their community. You know, when I first started this channel, if you go back to my first opening video, there is a lot that I want to do with this channel. And unfortunately, the way YouTube works, is that everybody wants you to have a niche or to only do one thing. So I must admit, I've been struggling with that the last, I don't know, 2 years that I've been on YouTube. But I finally gotten to a place where it's like, I'm going to do what I want to do. I hope you all like it. I hope you all engage with it. And if you don't, it's cool because it's all about trying something new. Thank you all so much. Mrs. Wilson, thank you so much for your constant support and for being a member to the channel. Hey, Plez in chat. God's anointed daughter. Happy birthday, Queen Plez. Many more blessings and prosperity to you, sweetie. Thank you so much. On the Run with Papata. Happy birthday. Sheila Mack. Hey, girl. Happy birthday. And B, happy birthday. My birthday is tomorrow. Much love to all my April Aries and Taurus people. Yes, Aries gang, Ram gang, bang, bang. I love it. Rayita, how are you? I love you so much, Ray Ray. Welcome all. Please hit the like button as you enter. Let's celebrate, please. Yes, thank you all for celebrating me. But more so, like I said, I just want this to be just a laid back kind of chat, some little gems here or there, and where we are at this point in life. Come get this commentary. Hey, girl, happy 40th birthday, beautiful Plez. Thank you so much. Clyde Jones, happy birthday, Plez. Anita Marie, Plez, you are beautiful, and I want to wish you happy birthday many more. Thank y'all. Y'all are so gracious. Doc Prime, happy birthday, Plez. And Stone, happy birthday, y'all. I am just so happy because you could be doing so many other things with your Wednesday night. Kamiko, hey, thank you so much. 40 looks so beautiful on Scared of Beautiful. Thank you so much. Woo child. Hey girl, happy birthday, Plez. Daquilla, how are you? Happy birthday. Black Diamond, thank you so much. You are always in the comments, and I really do appreciate you all. Good evening, Lipstick Plez, Beauties and Bows. Raydella, excuse me. Apologize for mispronouncing your name. Happy birthday, Plez. Janet, hello. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. Yes. Sherry Culpepper, I love this picture of you. Thank you. From the thumbnail, I guess. DGF, hey girl, happy birthday. Thank you so much. All right, y'all. I'll be looking at comments throughout. Joseph Felton, thank you so much. 40 still looking like in your 20s. Joseph, you're doing too much, but thank you. I would go back to my 20s if I knew then what I know now. And so I gotta admit, y'all, one thing that I always talk about um, that I feel social media should best be used for is to share our stories, right? Let us know that we are not out here in this struggle fighting the good fight alone. I know I used to feel like that in my 20s, sometimes in my 30s, sometimes even now, right? And I feel like as I'm a Christian, if you are as well, I think we know as believers we're not going to be exempt from trials and tribulations in just life. And I think it is incumbent upon all of us to share those things with others, lift as we climb, help along as we go. So whether you get it from me, whether you get it from anyone, look around for people in your life with sage wisdom. If you don't have someone in your family or a friend or an elder woman that you look up to, one place that I used to always go as a child, and I'm about to start doing this again, and I'll get into it a little bit later in the video. Um, it's going to nursing homes, right? You have so many of our elders who, for whatever reason, don't have family and friends who can afford to care for them, don't have the capacity to care for them. And they go to these nursing homes and then they're just kind of abandoned. And they are looking for interaction, for engagement. And some of those women and men, most of them, they have lots of gems to share with us if we're only open to listening, right? And so I have to admit, y'all, 40. I got to be real because that's what life is about. And so many people just want to put on this facade, and you hear the 40 is the new 20. It's not. It can't. You can look as good as you want to look, but your body will definitely let you know you're not 20 anymore. I used to go to the daiquiri shop, right? And I would get a suicide daiquiri. For y'all that don't know, a daiquiri is just in the South a frozen alcoholic like slushy. And a suicide daiquiri is when they take all the different flavors and they put a little bit of each one in it. So I would get a large suicide daiquiri with a shot of Everclear. You don't know what Everclear is. It's like 80 to 100% proof grain alcohol. I would get that, hang out for the night, and be good to go the next day for work. I don't think I can get just a singular flavor daiquiri at this point in my life with a shot of Everclear, not even a large, maybe a medium, and be good for work the next day. So whether you know it or not, your body is going to let you know you're not 20 anymore. Hey, Princess, thank you so much for the birthday wishes. Vicky Black, thank you as well. QRL, thank you. I did have a wonderful birthday, but it is Wednesday, so I was at work. And that's the part of adulting, right? It is, for y'all who don't know, it's Fair Housing Month. It's a wonderful time in this country. 1968, the Fair Housing Act was signed, and that allowed lots of advances for African Americans and other minorities in all the protected classes that were protected under fair housing. But if we know our history in this country, African Americans have been very disproportionately affected by all kind of racist practices, redlining, steering, not allowing our communities to get loans, to be living in this country, right? So it's Fair Housing Month. I'm having to do a lot of stuff at work around that. And so I couldn't take off and gallivant, but don't worry. The gallivanting is coming, right? Quasia, don't judge me. Everclear equals fire starters. That is some good stuff, ma'am. I like, y'all ever want to know clear versus brown? I'm a clear girl. Tequila, rum, all those things, they mix well. I don't drink anything really straight. So I like things where you can easily mix them. Sunshine, sunshine, thank you for the happy birthday wishes. Desiree, thank you. Shanae, Renee, thank you all so much. Seeds, Soil, and Sunshine. Hey, girl. Hey, Plez. I hope you had the best birthday ever. It's been pretty good. Joyce Anderson, thank you all so much. Introvert gal. I'm an introvert too, but I can be extroverted when I need to be. Bernita Hayes. Hey, from Alabama. Thank you for the love. All right. So, back to what I was saying, right? 40 is definitely not the 20, but I don't want to be 20 anymore. I want to be where I am. I'm happy and grateful for where I am because aging is a luxury that is not afforded to many. Y'all, every day when we get up, you read the newspaper, you watch the news, people are leaving this earth left and right. So I am more than grateful that God saw fit to let me make it another day, to let me make it another decade. But I have to be honest as well, because that's what I want my platform to be about, honesty and authenticity, and say that I had some mixed feelings, y'all. I had some mixed feelings with this birthday coming up. Didn't want a party. My mama is making me have a party. She made me have a party, I should say. But I really did need to have that time with friends, with family, and sometimes you just got to get over yourself and do things for other people. And when you get to the events, sometimes then you get into it, you perk up. And I love my family. I love my friends. So I was very happy that my mom pushed me to do that. But being a very type A person, being a very driven person, it's hard not to get to an age like this and not reflect and look back and think about where you are, right? And I think that's just life. You kind of always are in this rat race or wanting more or wanting, I wonder if I had done this or focused on this. But one thing I can honestly say that I've learned at this point in my life, you get where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. I can remember at 18 being in love. You hear me? Love. Not love. Love with my high school boyfriend. And I, to this day, can run up on notebooks, especially if I go back to my mom's house, because she keeps everything, where I would doodle my name and his name, and we were going to be married by 24, and I was going to have 3 kids by 31. I had it all planned out, honey. And now looking back, I'm definitely glad I did not, plan didn't work. I was not ready to be anybody's wife at 24. I don't even know if I'm ready to be somebody's wife at 40. So, really having these come to Jesus meetings and talks with myself and pushing myself for self-awareness, because we pray for things, y'all, but are we really ready for them? I think sometimes we romanticize life. If you are a woman, I would venture to say any woman in this country, but definitely women raised in the South, marriage and children are big things, right? No matter what you accomplish in life, there's someone there that's like, so when you gonna get married? So when you gonna have some kids? And it's interesting to me at this point, because I think everybody, they know the physical part of it, right? As you get older, it's harder to have kids. So, not necessarily my primary family, but it's interesting the people who I meet and they ask me about children, and depending on who they are, I may share, that I had an infant loss, I had a stillbirth. Um, Sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. Depends on where I am and how I feel that day. But when I tell people like I don't have kids because I'm not married yet, they're like, "You don't have to be married to have no kids." And I'm like, I know. But that's what I want for my life. And it's so interesting. We live in a society, y'all, where people get so in their feelings that they think you are judging them. You know, you can be a single mama. Ain't nothing wrong with single mom. There's nothing wrong with single mothers. My mother was a single mother. In fact, I grew up, the majority of my aunts were single mothers. I was raised by a village of single mothers. So I definitely know you can do it and do it well. I also know that I would like something different for my children if I can. I would like them to have their father in the home with them. Now, am I going to marry anybody just to have a kid? No. And that's where we are. Because look, you could get married, it could be horrible, you can get divorced, and you still end up being a single mother. But it's very interesting that a lot of people act like we don't know how pregnancy happens. Mistakes happen sometimes. Birth control can fail sometimes. But more often than not, if you want to actually plan a family, you can plan a family. And so again, tomato, tomato. Now, in 2 to 3 years, if I don't actually, move towards the goal that I say I want, then I'll have to make a different decision. I may have to decide if I want to be a single parent by choice, right? Or I'll have to decide I don't want to I don't if I'm not married, I don't want a kid, so I'm gonna just be the best aunt I can be. And I love it's so funny again when I say things, people are like, "Well, you can adopt or you can do IVF." I didn't ask for any of the I know all the options. I'm aware of all of the options, and I think people mean well, but sometimes they just don't know what to say, which is why, if you're listening, don't ask women about when they're going to have children. You just never know what someone is going through. I unfortunately had a stillbirth, but I haven't tried since, right? I have friends that are married and some that aren't married, and they've been trying for years. So every time you ask a woman that, you don't know what their backstory is. You don't know what that person is dealing with at night. So I think as a society, we're getting a little better with that, but definitely, that boomer generation, the generation before me, I'm a millennial child. I read something the other day. They said elder millennial. Okay. But I'm a millennial. Um, in our era, our generation was just different. Things were harder for us. It was harder for us getting out of school. When I got out of law school, I was 26. It was 2009. So it was the tail end of the housing crash. It was the tail end of the other depression or recession, because I think they said we weren't truly in a depression. I think we were. Um, but it was hard to find legal employment to the point where I think some of you all know, like I went back to school after law school and got my master's in social work. My master's didn't come first. I had my bachelor's in psychology and then my law degree. And then I went back to get my master's in social work because it was always a goal. And since I couldn't find a job in the legal field, or a job I wanted, I should say, then I went back to school and knocked that off the checklist. So it's been a lot for us. Um, It's not as easy. When I was looking at houses, I asked my mom how much she paid for her house, and she said $34,000. I just laughed. You can't. I don't even know if you can find a lot where I live for $34,000, and if you do, it ain't gonna be a good one in a good neighborhood. Um, but you're definitely not getting a 3 bedroom, 2 bath house for $34,000. Um, Zaquilla says, I had unexplained infertility. I had 3 miscarriages before my daughter. People would ask me all sorts of things. It was painful at times. Exactly. Exactly. Checking you, Boo X. Are we in a depression now at Scared of Beautiful? Economic wise? Uh, very close. Un poquito. Like a little bit, little bit. Um, it's looking better. The numbers are looking better. But the federal government just keeps allowing these and enacting these interest rate hikes, and it's only serving to undo the good stuff that is there. You know, this economy, the way the world functions, y'all, it's just very interesting. And when you really sit back and you read and you understand more, it's very manipulative. All of the supply and the demand and things like this, the markets that are in place, those are manipulated. And they're manipulated on purpose. I'll just say that I've definitely come to that realization for myself. So now I'm just on a mission to control what I can control for my life and help the people that I can help. Each one teach one, you know. So in my little segment of the world that I'm focused on right now, property, real estate, affordable housing, um that's where I choose to make my mark right now. But we all have gifts. We all have talents. And I know a lot of times people come in my inbox or even in my comments, y'all want me to talk about things about the law. But one thing you have to understand, I think I've said it before, but if not, I'll say it today. The law is what I do, it's not who I am. So because YouTube for me is a hobby, it's somewhat of an escape. I don't want to get on here and talk about what I do all day, every day. I do have some plans to bring on some friends because one of the good things about being a professional, going to different professional schools, is that I have been blessed with a great network. You want a criminal lawyer? I'll get you one. You want a family lawyer? I can get you one of those. You want a sports agent, an entertainment lawyer? I can get you one of those. But I am not the type of person who wants to sit around. Somebody wanted me to follow, I forgot, it was some trial going on. Even though there's a lot of money there, I'm not a money driven person like that. I have been blessed to do well in life. It's enough for me. When you want more money, you have to make certain concessions. You have to make certain compromises that at this point in my life I'm not willing to make. I'm not willing to forego all of my vacation time or my weekends off to make more money. Now, to someone who is super capitalistic, they will say, oh, well, you're just lazy. No, I like work-life balance. I don't like being burnt out. I put in a lot of hours through the week. I work very hard. I'm very passionate about what I do. I'm not going to then go extend myself and, pick up clients on the side just so I can have more money. It's not worth it for me. That's right now. I may change, but right now it's not worth it. Checking you, Boo says, very manipulative, the supply and demand. That's right. Control what you can. Serenity, prayer. See, Soul and Sunshine, enjoy 40 while you can because it seems like birthdays come every 6 months after 40. See, Soul and Sunshine, I was 21. When I turned 21, I was working at Radio Shack. I worked in college and in law school, actually. So I was at Radio Shack and my old manager, Mr. Ron Levy, he said, kid, enjoy 21 because after this, it is all downhill. The years just fly as they go. And I am shocked, but he was absolutely correct. I was telling one of my friends the other day, I literally, what happened to those 19 years? Like, I can remember vividly turning 21 and what I went to do and how I celebrated 21. I remember 25. I can remember all of the years, but it does not feel like 19 years has passed. You know, as they say, the days are long, but the years are short. And y'all can think about it every year. It seems like January comes in and it is long as hell. Like January for every year seems to drag on. It's like we're on January 40th. But once we finally get out of January, everything flies after that. Like everything flies. Latoya Chambers, happy birthday. Thank you so much. And if I missed some of y'all, I'm sorry. I'm looking over here at the side and I'm also running my mouth. But what you all came for, that was my general long introduction into, you know, why I just wanted to get on here and chat with y'all and do a quick chat with y'all. I'm grateful and so thankful to see this age, and I know it's only going to be full of amazing things. But I have to admit that it was, you know, there were a little mixed feelings because it's just a natural, I think, kind of thing to think, am I where I want to be? Am I where I thought I was going to be? But it's all about perspective, right? So, although those are natural thoughts, instead of dwelling in that place or beating yourself up about why you're not where you thought you were going to be, it's really more so a time to say, okay, look at all the things that I have done. And two, if I'm not where I want to be, how do I get myself there? Life does not just happen to you, right? Latoya Chambers, thank you so much for the super chat, sis. Happy birthday, sis. Welcome to chapter 40. It's our year. Thank you, girl. It's on us, right? To get us to where we want to be. You can't just be a bump on the log in life. You can't just let your life pass you by. One of my friends, when I was discussing my mixed feelings, he told me someone that he listens to said the average age is 75. Now I'm gonna have 100, y'all. Me and God have already talked about it. I have asked him for 100. He's going to give it to me. We're claiming 100. So I'm not at midlife. Don't bring that over here. Midlife will be at 50. I'm going to get 100. But average life expectancy is 75 years. And he was like, that's 75 summers, 75 springs, 75 falls, 75 winters. And that really puts it into perspective when people say, oh, life is short or life is long. It's kind of measurable and finite. So you can't keep having goals or wanting to do things and then you never do them because you're scared or because you have no help. Make a plan, make a goal. If you're scared, do it scared. I read a great book one year by Joyce Myers called Do It Afraid. And I am a person, believe it or not, which is why I like to have these talks, because I think sometimes we look at people and we think, oh, they have it all together. or they never experience hardship. They get whatever they want. And that's just not true. All of us go through things in life. And for me, fear has been something that I struggle with on and off for various reasons, right? Whenever you're starting something new, of course you're going to have butterflies, you're going to be fearful. You don't know if people are going to like it. I have some content that I've been thinking about probably for almost 2 years at this point, and I'll talk to my best friend about it, and she's like, "So when are you doing it? So when are you putting it out?" And it's like Erica Badu said, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. So you're always gonna have that what if no one likes it? But here's the thing. You can sit on it forever and then you'll never know what would have happened. You can try it, it may flop. But at least then you have something to build from. You have something that you can pivot from, right? Hold on, y'all. Let me get some water. All right. You have something you can build from, you have something you can pivot from. It's better than looking back at your life and thinking, what if? Checking You Boo says 100, be motivated, excuse me, intrinsically. One who cares. Good evening, players. Happy birthday, many more. Thank you so much. Latoya says chapters 37, 39 was some straight trash for me, so I'm looking forward to chapter 40. Girl, I completely empathize with you. This last year was a lot for me, and I'm going to get to that in a quick minute too. Hey, Vanessa, thank you so much for the birthday wishes. All right. So even if you're afraid, no matter where you are in life, if you're 20 listening to this, if you're 40 listening to this, if you are 60, anywhere in between, if you're 80, as long as you have breath in your body, go for it. I watched the episode of Tamron Hall the other day, and she had this older Black lady who had gone viral during the pandemic with her church hats. This lady was like 83, 84, and wrote a book about grace in class. She was the AKA, we'll let her make it. She's a good elder. But she's 83, writing books on Tamron Hall. All because she decided she wasn't going to let that pandemic hold her down. And she was going to show up to Zoom church in her Sunday's best, regardless. Google her, look her up. She was 70 something running her first marathon. Don't look at aging as this horrible thing. Don't listen to these people on the internet. If you're a Black woman, get away from the internet. If you do take in the internet, do so responsibly. Make sure your self-esteem, your self-worth, your self-love is not eroded by these random people on the internet who would have you think that 40 is a death trap, 35 is a death trap, 30. Every year it gets younger and younger. They, basically, if you're not 18, 21, which is creepy. So stay away from the manosphere side of the internet, all of that stuff. Because one thing, and I'm someone who engages in the internet, right? Like I've been, since my mama got me AOL dial-up, I have been in chat rooms, I have been in forums. Oh, y'all remember Long Hair Care Forum? I used to live on Long Hair Care Forum. Curly Nikki, once I went natural. When I first got on YouTube, it was just random stuff. Then I went down this whole natural hair and makeup thing. So I've engaged with the internet for a very long time. However, I've always been careful to, like, the internet is the internet. It's not real life. And definitely at this point in my life, I have had to make a conscious effort to stay away from those mentalities and mindsets because they'll make you think that Black men and Black women hate each other, you know? And that's just not true. There's some things we got to work out, but it's not what the internet would have you to believe. And even if you run into dudes like that who think like that in the real world, just ignore them, move on to the next one. Um, it's really sad though that people are getting into these echo chambers and reiterating everything that they hear everybody else say. And it's not realistic, you know. A relationship requires two people who love each other, who are working towards the same goals. You also need trust, you know, responsibility, a few more things that are key. But love is out there, you know, and I'm preaching to myself as well. So, thank you so much, Suki Black House, for the super chat. Happy birthday! Thank you for bringing joy and enlightenment to us. You're a gift from God. Thank you so much. That's so nice. Um, Blessing High Topics. I love your content, players. You've always been a great content creator with good topics. Thank you. Okay, but what y'all came here to see? So all of what I just said is what made me want to jump on here with y'all tonight. I got to be up at work in the morning again, so I can't be on here forever. But 5 things 40-year-old me would tell 20-year-old me. Now, number 1 is and number 2 are going to be very closely linked. So they could probably actually be the same thing, but we'll see. We'll see, right? Number 1, give people grace, but don't let them back in your space. That is a life lesson that I have had to learn. And honestly, I'm still learning it, but I wish I had learned it sooner, right? When I left home, I was pretty sheltered. I was this country girl going out into the world. I moved to a city where I had no friends, no family. I'm starting over, just bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I am what I later learned to be very empathic. So I can take on other people's energies very easily, right? So people will come to me with their sad stories and I'm crying and I want to help them and I'm bending over backwards, or, you know, because I did not have people that I knew, I want to make friends with everybody and I want everybody to like me. And fortunately and unfortunately, like, right, sometimes you'll be blessed to find your tribe and your people. And the world is full of very genuine people. Let me say that. But the world is also filled with non genuine people and people who don't have your best interest in heart. People who just want to use you. People who just want to see what they can get from you. One thing that I have been hell bent on in this life, as many things as I go through in life, is that I will not let this world change me. I will not let this world turn me into a bitter person, an ugly person, a cruel person. I can be kind of shady. I can be a little, you know, I can go there when I need to go there, right? I know how to get you up off of me. I can windmill with the best of them, but that's not my natural personality, nor do I want it to be. You know, I want to be friendly. I want to be welcoming. I want to be open. But you can be all of those things, but keep your antennas up. And when people misuse you, when they take your kindness for weakness, pay attention. Even when they come back and they want to apologize and, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. What was I doing? Some people make honest mistakes because that's life. I make mistakes. I'm not the best friend I should be sometimes. I definitely have not been the best girlfriend in the past that I should have been at all times, but I try very hard. Under the love olive branches. Thank you so much for the super chat. Happy birthday. You're so genuine. Thank you. But you can forgive people and give them grace because, again, if you're a believer like I am, you should. It's what we're called to do. Shouldn't hold grudges. You should not be angry. You should not be bitter. And in fact, anger and bitterness really only hurts you. You be over here with a boot in your mouth, as we say, drove, mad, angry. I'm not talking to them because they did blah, blah, blah. And these other people be out here living their best life. They're not worried about you. They don't care that they hurt you. You know, women, when these men do something, don't quit sending paragraphs upon paragraph upon paragraph. They know what they did. Let it go. And if you're ready to be done, be done. Don't keep letting people play in your face and don't let them back in your space. So give the people grace, but don't let them back in your space. I, in the past, have been the type of person that would forgive and forgive and forgive, but ultimately I was the one left holding the bag of all of that BS and foolishness. No longer. I can forgive people, but you won't get that chance to hurt me again. I promise you. I'm not letting you that close to me again. Right? And some people will make you feel bad for that. Those are manipulators. You don't need them around you. Someone who is honest and has self-awareness and actually has shame about themselves will understand, look, I forgive you, but just know we'll never be the same. I can't go back to how it was. I never thought you would have the capacity to do that to me before. And since you did, it is what it is. That's what life is about. That's what consequences are about. If someone said that to me because I hurt them in some type of way, I would understand and respect it. But when you put up a boundary and people don't respect the boundary, they try to drive all over it, they don't love you. They don't respect you. They just want whatever they want from you, right? And unfortunately, you know, like we see with the whole escape stuff and Tasha and Tamika, I'm so tired, y'all, of that. But those were some life lessons through that whole drama. You have people that will cry their last tear, do all of this hooping and hollering for you to forgive them, just to come back and do the same thing. So at some point, you are responsible for you, and you have to stop letting people hurt you. So, as someone who is a reformed people pleaser, cut it out. Give the people grace, but don't let them back in your space, right? Number 2, y'all, there's a poet, English poet from like the 1700s, I think, that I used to love growing up, called John Donne, right? He has a famous quote, and it's actually one of the quotes that I live by. No man is an island in and of himself. And it basically means You, as much as we want to be a INDEPENDENT, as much as you want to be an independent person, man, woman, whoever, you need other people to survive. Whether that's family, whether that's friend, whether that's a spouse, whether that's your neighbor, your coworkers. Sometimes you have projects. I am the queen of despising group work. I do not like group work. I have not liked group work since I was in school because I always feel like someone is slacking on the work and then I have to do all of it. That's a story for another day because sometimes that's not true. And us type A people got to learn how to let some control go. Control issues. I'm working on those too. But I hated group work. But there are some times where you can't do it all. You're going to have to rely on somebody else. You're going to have to relinquish some control and see that other people can actually do the work. Amber, thank you so much for the super chat. I was blessed at 21 to make friends with a 42-year-old woman. The life lessons were priceless. Baby, when she told me ninjas would lie and cry at the same time, over 35 years later, we're still friends. Yes, that is great. And y'all, it always make friends. Two things in life. Always be open to meeting new people, but use your discernment. But two, also always be willing to learn. I'm a lifelong learner. If I could go back right now and get my PhD, if somebody else would pay for it, I would be there because I just love to learn. I'm a naturally inquisitive person. I'm a people watcher. So yeah, make friends. All of that whole no new friends stuff. You never know who can help you in life, whether that's just through some wisdom or some actual mentorship in your career, in your business. Again, there are good people. So, above all things, pray to God for discernment in that He sends the good people in your life, the people who do mean you well. I am at an age where I'm starting to curate that. Some of my close friend circle have been there since I was a teenager or at least a little kid. They may be a few years older than me. We were cool, but we weren't really classmates. And now we're all kind of on the same playing field because I'm 40, they're 43, 44, college friends, work friends. I'm developing two friendships at my job of women that I really look up to and respect. And when I'm in there tripping, I go to them and I say, am I tripping? And they will tell me. That's the other thing. Don't just find friends. Get the friends that what was see, this is something that happens at 40. I forgot what I was going to say because I was looking over here in this chat. Get friends who check you on your stuff. Don't get a circle of yes men. That's not what you want. Iron sharpens iron. And I am always open to people who I know mean me well, giving me constructive criticism. Saying, well, nah, Plez, you went a little too far on that. Well, Plez, I see what you're saying, but I also see what the other person says. You know what I'm saying? You need that. You don't need a bunch of yes men. You need people who will tell you when you're wrong. Let me see. Prosperity. Hey girl. Hey Plez, have you read Meg Thee Stallion's Elle magazine article? She says she's learning that everyone isn't always around for your good. And the Pow Pow incident, she's living on her own terms, whole and alone. Look, I know a lot of people out here are scared to be alone, but I took an active break from lots of things the last few years, and it has helped me learn so much just about myself, what I want, what I don't want, what I like, what I don't like, and how to really depend on myself so that when I do find whoever it's going to be, it will be someone who is bringing something to the table that is a welcome addition, right? Um, Tamika, wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm gonna come back checking you, boo. Tamika just popped up. Where she popped up at, girl? She over there with Candy because Candy said she was gonna do a speak on it with her. So, checking you, boo. You deserve all the donations given to you. Please ask people to cash up you rather than super chat. When you super chat, part of that goes to YouTube. That is very true. And thank you for that. People have cash app me today. Thank y'all so much for your donations. And I've had people cash app me just randomly, and I haven't really been asking for cash apps. If you all ever feel inclined and want to support the channel, please do. But also, I don't want people to think that you can only support me through cash apps. Cash apps are greatly appreciated. Super chats are greatly appreciated. Any financial donation to the channel, I'm looking to get some better equipment, things like that. But I don't want y'all to think that you have to do that because we are in a hard economy. Watching the video, liking the videos, subscribing to the channel, it's all part of it, and it all really helps grow the channel. So if you enjoy the content, that's my primary ask of you all. But yes, if you would like to cash app, my cash app is right here, the $ Scared of Beautiful. But yeah, YouTube does take a percentage of the super chats, but I'm grateful for it all. Hey, Mims, happy birthday, friend. Thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you for the birthday wishes. Yes, exactly, Adrian. Friends that hold you accountable. That is what we all need. And back to what you said, Prosperity Thick Girl, I'm glad that Megan is so young and is learning this stuff. Y'all, if we get our nieces and our daughters and our little cousins and, to learn some of this stuff younger, and look, you can't force it on them. I can honestly say that there are some lessons in life that my mama tried to teach me. But the reality is, every generation has to learn it for themselves. Every person has to learn their lessons for themselves, right? You can't force it down anybody's throat. You get there, what I said earlier, when you're supposed to get there. But I hope that whatever I say, a younger woman or an older woman, whoever, that you learn something from it and glean something from it, because that's what we're about. We're about sharing our stories. Thank you so much for the super chat, Vanessa. We love you, Miss Plez. Always enjoy your wisdom. Girl, not Miss Plez. That's another thing. I in one of my other videos said, I'm going into my auntie season, and somebody was like, I want you to lean into that more. And I was like, I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm ready to lean into that. But anyway, y'all, let me get through the rest of this stuff. So that's number one. Give people grace, but don't let them back in your space. Number two is very similar. I was talking about John Donne. And his quote is, no man is an island in and of himself. And it basically is talking about how we're all interconnected. Instead of striving for independence, we need to be striving for interdependence, because it takes all of us to make this wheel, roll. And that's true. However, although no man is an island, you also need to be sure that you do not hop on every ship that passes by. And it ties into the first one, because at the end of the day, the moral of the story is discernment. Yes, we need other people. Yes, we grow more when we build relationships, when we build connections. However, you have to be very careful of the connections you make and who you decide to connect yourself to. Definitely, the whole birds of a feather flock together. You are the company you keep. Your mom and them tried to tell you those stories. And a lot of times we don't listen. I can be one to admit that I haven't always listened. And that's because I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I inherently think that people are good. I want to believe that people are good. But I know I can definitely point to my career when I got into the law. And when you're in the law, whether you're directly in politics or not, it's like you're by default in politics. And the black professional world, especially where I am down here in the South, is very small. And sometimes you have people where your ethics, your morals, your values are not the same. And that's the nicest way I can put that. So, though you want to make partnerships, though you want to connect with other people in your interconnectedness, please make sure that whoever you're connecting to, that ship is sailed in the same direction that you want to go. Because one bad partnership can bring everybody down. And you may not even be actively engaged in whatever the other person is doing. I remember, and I'm sad that schools don't do this anymore, right? When we were in school, I was in elementary school in the early 90s, middle school, I guess 96, 97, somewhere in there, and then high school. We used to always have assemblies where these like dare people and the whatever thing against drugs, they would come around. And I'll never forget one year they had women come in from the women's prison. And almost all the women there were there because they got caught up bringing a drug runner for some little boyfriend. Or, what we see on TV1 all the time, the for my man stuff. And I'm not saying that men only cause women to do bad things. There are some women who just scam and do things themselves. But I always wonder, had not that young lady got in that relationship, would she be in prison? Probably not. So you can't be so desperate for love or desperate for attention or desperate for money or desperate for success that you hit yourself to someone who will ultimately land you in a not so good space. I know professionally, I have worked hard, right? Legally, Leah. Hey, girl, happy birthday, Soror. Thank you, Soror. And fellow lady of the law, Bahati Harden. Hey, girl. Yes, Officer Jackson was the best. Officer Jackson was the best. That's one of my homegirls. She knows who I'm talking about. Abida Shin says, hey, people are competing with my solitude. People need to feel better or a good difference from my people need to feel better or a good difference from my solitude. I understand. Crystal Howard, girl. Hey, girl. Thank you so much. Happy birthday. But yeah, no man is an island, but don't hop on any and every ship that passes by. Use discernment. Be selective on who you choose to attach yourself to or partner with in this life. Whether that's friendship, whether that's romantic relationship, whether that's a business partnership, whatever. All right, number 3. And this one is really personal for me. It is grow up, but still be a kid. For me, the biggest key there is the growing up. I don't know if you all can tell because I do get sometimes I fluctuate between being serious and being playful on YouTube. But in my real life, I am silly. Sometimes goofy. I have a very playful spirit. I hate when people are depressed. I hate when stuff is too serious. Clearly, I work in the law, so I have to be serious. Don't get me wrong. I'm serious when I need to be serious. But if I don't need to be serious, I'm not serious. I want people to laugh. I want people to have joy. I want them to love themselves, right? I just like to make the life for people around me a little bit easier, even if that means I'm being silly and dancing. I normally, for birthdays, I call my best friend and I sing a birthday medley. So today I got up, y'all, and I was singing my birthday medley to myself. Y'all want to hear it? Okay, here you go. And don't be copying me. I know you. I know you gonna do it. You gonna call your friends, and you at least if you gonna copy me, say Plez did this. Just kidding. But so I sing a birthday medley song out today, and I was like, happy birthday to me, 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 happy birthday, go shorty, it's your birthday. We gon' party like it's your birthday. We gon' sip Bacardi like it's your birthday. And we don't give up because it's your birthday. When I die, bury me next to the Gucci stone. Hey, when I die, bury me next to the Louis stone. All I want for my birthday is a big booty. All I want for my birthday is a big booty. Oh, hey. One time for the birthday chick. Hey, 2 times for the birthday chick. That's me. 3 times for the birthday chick. Hey, F it up if it's your birthday chick. So I love, and y'all who follow me on Instagram, when I was doing my sing along Sundays, like, that's me. I will break out in spontaneous, song and dance anywhere I go. I talk to my friends in pop culture references. They can say something. I'm like, oh, remember in this movie when that happened? That's me. I'm not on here faking. That's who I am in real life. So what you see is what you get. Um, so that's how I love to be. I love to just have fun. And I encountered this a lot, especially in law school, where people just were like, you're weird. Like, they're all serious and stuffy and they want to do constitutional law, and we're in the study group. I did not do study groups in law school because I would do what you see me doing now. I would be the class clown and I would be playing and trying to make everybody laugh. So I would study by myself. So, because I don't have to entertain people when I'm studying by myself, right? So I just love to see people smile and laugh. And that childlike, kind of playful spirit just doesn't translate well to everyone. And it doesn't translate well sometimes in the business world. But again, I'm serious when I need to be serious. However, at this point in life, grow up, but still be a kid. I have had some, especially like approaching 40. I was definitely having some like Peter Pan syndrome. I go more so towards the Toys R Us because again, we live for a good song, a good jingle. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. There's a million toys at Toys R Us that I can't play with. So I never wanted to like grow up. And it's because I felt like growing up meant you were serious, you were stuffy. Hey, Miss Bernice, thank you so much. Don't forget Uncle Luke, it's your birthday. Yes, man, all the songs. Y'all make it your own. Add what you want to add. That's just, the songs that I like. Hey, Chocolate Thunder, thank you so much. Happy birthday, Plez. Thank you. I be the shit says I like to have fun and a good time and still take care of my business. Exactly. You know, don't get mad at me because you have no personality and don't know how to do all the things. Mother knows how to do all the things. So I can be serious. Um, and sometimes I'm too serious. There are some people at my job that will be like, she has fun and knows how to play because when I'm passionate about what I'm passionate about and serious with what I'm serious about, then I am that way. But it's just not my default personality, right? So, however, at this point in life, like I was saying, I think the issue was for me growing up felt old, it felt stuffy. When I go to things in my career, everybody is there in a blue suit or a black suit. I've seen comments even on YouTube where she's a lawyer and she wears that loud ass lipstick. Girl, yes, does, and gonna keep doing it because it's me. I don't fit in your box. Never have, never will. And I had to learn that. You know, Going through law school, it, I never stood, I never fit in because I was not the geek that was in. I'm a geek. I'm a nerd, but I'm not the kind that just wants to talk about the law all day, all night. I like to do other things as well. So, learning how to pivot from looking at growing older as being this like horrible thing is necessary, right? Discipline is necessary. Lord, before you used out with discipline, you know, routine is necessary. I am not where I used to, when I was in college. Oh, honey, I could pull an all-nighter with that suicide daiquiri that I told y'all about before and go in and make an A on the test or on the paper. I could write a 15-page paper in 10 hours overnight and get an A. And now I can't pull the all-nighters and still wake up and be polished and professional and on my A game at work. So there has to be a balance where I have my discipline, I have my routine, but I still have my childlike spirit and I still know how to have fun at the end of the day in the due time. There's still time in life for spontaneity. But if I want some of these goals that I'm telling y'all about, or that you all have, if you want some of the goals that you say you want in life, you may have to change some things. Thank you, January Lewis, for the birthday wishes. You might got to change some things. So, growing up isn't all bad, but no, don't lose the essence of who you are. And I think if I had learned that balance earlier, if I had learned to look at discipline and routine earlier, I could have checked off some of the more things, some more of the things that I wanted to check off. So it's more so about flipping your mindset, and it's hard because this new generation, not the millennials, because y'all blame millennials for everything. And I'm like, that's not us, that's them other people. What is it? Why? But the ones that are like 25 and under now, I get really worried about because they're social media babies. They're internet babies, literally. And they really do take aging very hard, very serious. And I don't know. I want them to not do that. Hey, Miss Lady, thank you so much for the birthday wishes. Um, But if you are younger out there, life doesn't stop at 25. It doesn't stop at 30. It doesn't stop at 40. Life is not over because you don't have the house that you thought you were going to have, or you don't have X amount in your bank account, or you don't have the husband, or you don't have the kids. It's not over. I promise y'all it's not. And everything that you go through, it's a building block. When I was in law school, I worked at Home Depot on the weekends. Do y'all know I use some of that knowledge now? When we have projects with construction or compliance issues, I know how to lay a tile floor. I know what it should look like. You know what I'm saying? Everything in my life that I thought, why am I here? Why am I doing this? I was doing it because I needed some health benefits. You know, back then you got kicked off your parents' health benefits at like 22. And I needed some money in my pocket. So I worked throughout law school, throughout grad school. Um, but it all has come full circle. And I'm at a place in my life where I can apply so much knowledge. And people are like, how do you know that? You know, when I was in at college working at Radio Shack, I was in sales. You sell yourself every day, whether you know it or not. Someone is watching you. And it could be someone who has the capability to take your life in a place you never knew existed. So embrace it all. Even when you think it's nothing, don't be afraid to grow up. Yes, keep the essence of who you are, but a little structure, a little discipline, particularly in your finances. You know, I looking back, I made a lot of mistakes, and it's literally because I didn't know. You know, my mom did the best that she could, but my mom wasn't versed in investments and all of these things. Her biggest thing was don't get in debt. Don't get a bunch of credit card debt and things like that. But I made a lot of money in my 20s, and I should have done a lot more with it, but I didn't know. So each one teach one. Our generation has learned so much about entrepreneurship, has learned so much about investments, has learned so much about real estate. We have to pass this on. They don't teach this stuff in school. The stuff you need to know, they don't teach it. So y'all, if you know something, teach your cousins, teach your sisters, teach them, even if they don't want to listen. Sometimes they're listening when you think they aren't, right? I tell my nieces things all the time, and I think they're not listening, and they'll come back later and say, Auntie, you said blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, you were listening for once. But teach them, y'all. Don't beat them over the head with it. Put the nuggets out there and let it go. All right, let's get this done. The next one, as they said in Finding Nemo, just keep swimming. Life is going to life. I say this all the time, but it is. You will think everything is smooth sailing. Boom, something happens. You lose your job. Kid gets sick. Family member gets sick. It's going to keep coming. As the old people used to say, just keep living. If you haven't experienced something yet, you probably will. But not just keep living, keep swimming. Keep going. Even when you feel like you're only treading water. Even when you feel like you're making no progress, I promise you are. When in 2020, 2021, late 2020, early 2021, when I was really in my weight loss bag, there were about 2 or 3 months where I had a really bad, I was stagnant. I was doing the work, I was walking the miles, I was eating right, and I lost maybe 2 pounds for like 2 months straight. I had to keep going. Even when you think no one's watching, keep going. If it's a goal that you truly have, if it's something that you really want out of life, you have got to keep going, right? Now, if you have concrete evidence that you're working towards something and you're never making any progress, then you may have to reassess. I joke all the time. There's this meme that I saw about all these people trying to be rappers, and it's like, bro, at some point you need to just stop and go get your CDL license, be a truck driver. Um, Make sure that your goals are measurable and reasonable, but also make sure that they're realistic. That doesn't mean let people talk you out of something if it's truly a dream for you. But I just sat here and told y'all how I was in law school and grad school working at Home Depot. I'm not afraid to work. I've been working since I was 12. Sometimes you have to do something that you don't want to do or that's not your first preference just to make your bills, just to make sure you survive. So if that means while you pursue your music career, you have to get another hustle, that's what you have to do. And while you're swimming, you got to make sure that you're not looking at everybody else's boat that passes by and that you're losing your traction. One issue as a Christian that I have, like with prosperity preaching, is that it makes people believe that you're just supposed to get Bentleys and jets and Mercedes and a mansion. It's not true. Some people, no matter how hard they work, will never be rich, per se, in terms of materialistic things. Some people, it seems like they do nothing, and overnight, they have all the success. Some things just aren't for you. So, the real thing is make sure you are swimming towards a goal that one, you want and can handle, but if you're a believer like me, that it's in line with what God has for your life. Because sometimes we want things that just aren't meant for us. And I know that's hard for a lot of people to hear and accept, but it's just the reality. One person's blessing may be the mansion on the hill, another person's blessing may be just a stable home. When you work with people from different income backgrounds and different education backgrounds, you get checked really quickly. Where I live, the median income for a family of four is like $45,000. I've made $45,000 at a point in my career, and I felt like I could barely take care of myself, let alone three other people. So a lot of times we're so busy swimming and treading water and looking at other people's things, we can't be happy with the waves that we have. We can't be content with what we have in our little lake, pond, whatever it is. We want the ocean. Maybe you're not ready for that yet. So take that as you take it. But the biggest thing is keep going, keep swimming. When your back is against the wall, when you think you're not going to make it, keep going. I promise you it gets better. And because of the way life is with its ebbs and flows, sometimes it's worse. But there is always light coming at the end of every tunnel. I can promise y'all that. You just have to keep going. Don't stop. Don't give up, even when you feel like it. One day at a time, one foot in front of the other. The next one is to be present. If you're a type A personality like me, that means you're always looking to the next goal. You're looking to the next thing. I got to check this off. I got to check that off. I got to move here. I got to do that. When you do that, you get to your point in life where you look back and you don't really remember all the things that you have done, all of the blessings that you have been given, because you're too busy chasing the next thing. You don't get to savor the moment, as cliche as it is. Stop and smell the roses. Stop and smell the roses. Stop. Enjoy what you have. Take pictures. Make memories. Cherish those memories. You know, I see people with kids all the time, and I get it. The newborn stage is crazy. The toddler stage is crazy. But almost all of my friends that are parents look back once those kids are at the prom, you know, getting ready to go to college or go on and move out of their parents' house, go to the military and the job force, whatever they're going to do. And almost all of them say, I wish I had more time with them when they were little. So if you are blessed enough to live a long life, and most of us, you know, again, like I said earlier, the median age is 75 life expectancy. So most of us will live long lives. Enjoy it, cherish it, be present, feel the feels, do the things, right? You know, I wasn't on YouTube for a good year. And one thing that I haven't talked about, and I'm going to try not to cry, but I can't promise y'all. And let me be very clear, just moving forward in my content, and I'll say it, I don't mind saying it. I'm I'm like Candy in this sense. I'm a crybaby. I'll let y'all know that now. I cry when I'm mad, I cry when I'm happy, I cry when I'm sad. Um that just is what that is. I can be really mad about something and cry. I can be happy about something. I watch Shark Tank. It's one of my favorite shows forever. I watch it every Friday night when there's a new episode. And I'm like in tears, happy for these people getting to pitch their idea. And Lord, when they make a deal, I'm just over there overjoyed because I love watching people pursue their dreams, right? If I'm sad, I'm crying. So this is gonna be a little sad. So I hope I don't start crying. But if I do, just ignore it. But the importance of being present, right? I wasn't on last year, and this was for a lot of reasons. I needed to take a break from social media. That's where it started. I gave up social media for Lent. I was also, some of you know who follow me on Instagram, I was trying out for a game show. Yeah, I love games, y'all. I love game shows. And so I was trying out for a game show. I made it. And I was in like boot camp from February to April of last year, practicing for this game show. And eventually got the date that I was going to tape and all of those things. So that was a great experience. But after that, if you all have been watching my channel for a while, I did a video back in 2021 about how to get your joy back. And I shared that one of my aunts had passed in June of 2021. And I think I said it a little bit earlier, but my grandma had 11 kids. 8 of them were girls. And so, of course, one is my mother. But her 7 sisters. When you talk about being raised by a village, I was raised by a village. And my aunts, man, they mean so much to me. But this one aunt, um, she was an evangelist, and she was my aunt, but she was also like a spiritual mother to me. Anytime I was dealing with stuff in life and going through things, like I would call my aunt, and she would pray for me, and she was just the best. She was lively, even though she was this evangelist, and you would think baby, my aunt, would go to dinner with the girls and travel, and all while loving God and preaching, and talking about his word, right? So she passed unexpectedly. Unexpectedly, yeah. Getting my words crossed. But yeah, it was suddenly. She hadn't been sick or anything, like literally just died. So it was very, very hard for me. Very hard. And death in general is hard for me. I don't like it. I know it's something that we have to do. God is working on me with this, but it's not, whew, I'm not there yet. It is devastating to me. So I went through ebbs and flows that I was just talking about of life. Some days I was fine, other days I was not. To the point where um I undid pretty much all of the hard work that I did in 2020 and 2021. I had lost by January 21, I think I had lost 110 pounds, 115 pounds, something like that, from earlier in the year. And then after my aunt died, probably within 6 to 8 months, I gained it all back because of stress and emotional eating, from not being able to handle or process her death well. I did not go to grief counseling, which I should have. And I advise anybody who has a hard time dealing with grief to try to go to grief counseling and to surround yourself with people who can support you, not people who just say get over it, not those type of people, but people who actually can help you and support you. um so that was one of the reasons why I wasn't on YouTube. And just in this like 2021 and 2022, I've lost two very important people to me in my life. And there are so many days when me and my family are tight. We're close. And we have made memories. We do family reunions. My mom, before COVID, used to do this sleepover every Christmas. So I have memories of my aunts. You know, we were always there. There was never a question of love, of care for each other. But I still wish I had done more. When I was in school and law school and grad school and all these things, and I lived in New Orleans, I didn't come home, but like maybe 2 or 3 times a year. We come home for Christmas and Easter and Thanksgiving, really. So it's times like that where I'm like, I wish I had come home even more. I wish I was with them even more. I hope they really know how I love them and how much I was grateful for them and everything that they did for me and poured for me in my life. Right? So be present. You love people, tell them you love them. Show them you love them. And I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about material stuff. I'm saying if your loved ones are getting older and you see it's harder for them to do things and you're a little bit more able-bodied, call them and see if they need help with something on the weekend. When COVID hit, I was scared as I don't know what, but I was not going to let my 70-something-year-old aunt and my 80-something-year-old uncle be in the grocery stores fighting for tissue. I was out there getting stuff for them and bringing it to them. I was, me and my friends laugh all the time because I'm like, girl, do you know we used to like message each other and be like, get on Walmart right now. They got, the cans of Lysol just popped up. And I would order Lysol and have them mailed to my mom or mailed to my aunts, mailed to my cousins, you know. But it's not until people leave you, because honestly, I know it's not realistic. We all have to leave. But there are some people that you just think will never leave. And that's how it was with my aunts. I never thought they would leave. I never thought I would see like it has to happen, but you're never prepared for it when it happens. And I am very grateful that God so far has saw fit that I still have my parents. But every time one of my aunts, anytime, not just my aunt, but any family member, if something happens, it makes me think about my parents. And it's hard. And it's just, again, it's part of aging. We forget and we get kind of self centered that as we get older, they're getting older too, you know? So be present with your loved ones. Hey, Erica, long time no see here. Miss you, girl. Happy birthday, Plez. Thank you so much. Love Jones, fam. Hey, happy birthday, Plez. Thank you so much. Lady J, thank you for the birthday wishes. If I miss y'all, please just don't charge to my head, not my heart. JC, I'm going back through some of this stuff. Happy birthday, Plez. Thank you so much. Amber, I had lost 80 pounds. My dad passed in 2020 and I've gained it all back. Girl, you understand. We see each other. But I'm about to get back on it, girl. We got to get back on it. Norris, thank you so much for the congrats, Norris. Happy birthday, Plez. And congrats on 20,000 subscribers. Yay. Thank you so much. Thank y'all all for that milestone of 20,000 subscribers. We just gonna keep going onward and upward, honey. We're gonna build this little community one brick at a time. But y'all, Cha, thank you so much. Happy birthday, beautiful. I'm glad I was able to share it with you. Even the tears. God bless you. Thank you. Girl, I ain't finna be on these Beyonce's internet's crying. But that was it, y'all. That just made me a little emotional. I'm good. Be present. Love on your people. Enjoy what you have while you work towards something else. Don't be so preoccupied with the things that you don't have that you miss the things that you do have. Doc Prime, I needed this. I did know I needed this. I lost my entire immediate family over the years. I'm the last one out of my parents and brother. Sending you hugs, grief something, but live in the moment. Thank you so much. I'm sorry to hear that, but yeah, if we keep living, it's what happens. Norris says, my 92-year-old grandma passed away in October of 2022, and my 69-year-old uncle passed away in February of 2023. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Norris. Look, I am sending you love, kisses, all of the hugs that you can have, and prayers for your strength and your comfort. We all are going through it, y'all. So give each other grace. You never know what someone is dealing with in their day-to-day life, although I love to come on here and have fun with y'all. Last year, I can honestly say I just wasn't in the space to do it. Thank you so much, Cha, for that generous super chat. Bree Wright, thank you. Happy birthday. Thank you all. Queen BB Lovely, hey, happy birthday, beautiful. Thank you so much, Lori. Happy birthday. Grief is a complex experience. Prayers for you. Thank you so much. It is definitely up and down. One day I'll be fine, and the next day I'll see something that reminds me of my aunt, and I'm just like, oh. But it is what it is. Don't let anybody tell you it gets better. I don't, in my opinion, it doesn't get better. Um, you learn how to process it and you deal with it as it comes and goes. But I don't think you ever get over it because that what person was a part of your life. You know, my aunts have embedded so much in my life, in my development, and I'm glad my mother allowed that. I see some family members where it seems like, um, your parents just feel like they should be your only example or they should be the only person that you look up to. And that's just not realistic. And more importantly, it has taught me that, you know, they did their job. I have no doubt that God is there saying, servant, well done. And it's time for me to step up and do mine. I have to be that aunt to my nieces. I have to be, that's why part of the reason why I like to come on here and again share these stories. If one person hears it and gains something from it, I did what I set out to do tonight. That's it. We are supposed to pass on to the next generation as we learn, as we go. All of these facades of my life is perfect, be like me, take pictures, look, everything's great. Don't ever compare yourself to these people's highlight reel, which is all you see on social media. Most people will only show the good things, the things that's gonna say, yes, queen, more money, more money, more money, when we all out here just struggling one day at a time. You may have more money than the next person, or you may have a husband and children, but you don't know what that person is going through behind closed doors. And every one of us will go through something at some point. It's life. But it's about how you pick yourself up, how you move on, how you mature. One thing that we saw in this whole escape drama, do y'all know how sad it is to look at somebody and realize they have not matured in 20 something years? Oh, Lord. I remember when I was young, I used to work in a cafeteria in middle school, and there were these older cafeteria women, and they were just so messy. I said to myself then, I asked God, I said, God, I don't want to be an old messy lady. I don't like that. I don't like being an old gossipy, messy person. I'm a little, I'm a people watcher. I'm a what's going on over there? But then that's it. I go on about my business. I'm not sitting here being ugly and mean to old people. Norris, you are the caregiver for 4 years. Oh, wow. I hope you are really getting some grief counseling, Tony. Excuse me, Norris. Why do I keep wanting to say your last name? That's a lot, to care for someone in my, again, I really have some respect for you because being a caregiver is not easy. It's not easy at all. So definitely you have my condolences and my prayers. Tony Robinson, thank you so much, sis. Happy birthday, Plez. Thank you, Kaylani. Happy birthday, Plez. Yeah, we really are sending good vibes to you, Norris, because that has to be a hard loss. And thank you for sacrificing and being there for your aunt. Excuse me, for your grandmother and your uncle. It's a hard job being a caregiver, and my hats are very much off to you. I always joke with my mom because she's like, you said you would never put me in a nursing home. And I'm like, and I won't. But you will have a home health nurse that comes to the house. But nah, I'm gonna do any and everything for my family. Be present. Also, give grace to the people, in my family. I am quote unquote the strong one. And if y'all know what it's like to be the strong one, that's a hard spot to be in. Because and that's, I think, also another reason why I process my grief differently, because particularly with my aunt, that's my mother's sister. So I have to make sure my mom is okay, while she's grieving. She's going down through it. And so I had to suck it up a little bit. I cried a little bit, but I gotta stand strong. I have to be there to hold her and catch her if she falls, right? And so my grief is a little bit behind the scenes. It's when I get alone by myself. Um, I have been asked to speak at family members' funerals, that aunt and some other family members. Part of it is just because I've been public speaking my whole life. Once my mama started me on Christmas, the Christmas play or whatever when I was 3 or 4, I was always in some type of speech and debate and stuff like that at home. So people call on me to speak regularly. And in my family, we want you to get up and speak for the family. And that, oh Lord, y'all, that was so hard. But my family members deserve it. And I'm always going to speak the best. I'm going to say the truth. I'm going to let this world know who my people were. No, I don't play about them at all. I'm very proud of my people and where I come from because I come from good stock. I can say that proudly. And especially in my career, unfortunately, I've seen lots of families. And I tell my cousins all the time when we're like ragging on our mamas that as much as we complain about them and how overprotective they can be at times, they are good people and they mean well, you know. And I would much prefer to come from a family that I came from versus some of these families that I see that I have seen in my career and that I see in the world. So if you have good people, love on them, be present, care about them. If you don't, find that tribe, find that village for you. If unfortunately your family was a little dysfunctional, be the change you want to see. Don't carry the dysfunction on. Don't pass that down, y'all. We have to break these chains. No one is left to do the work but us. And if everybody thinks somebody else is supposed to do the work never gets done. And it's not easy work. Nothing that I'm telling y'all is easy. And I'm not perfect. There are times when I fall. There are times when I don't care. There are times when I don't take the high road. There are times when I'm human. But the point is, you strive to be better. You get up and you get back at it the next day. You know what I'm saying? So the last thing that I want to say that I would have told 20-year-old me is to trust yourself. All of us have a conscience. We have this small, still voice. If you get quiet enough, you will hear it. If you don't hear it, it will move you. It'll be a calling. I love watching The Lion King. And every time I watch The Lion King, y'all, from when I was 10 years old, I get a different lesson every time. But there's a point where Rafiki, I think it's when Nala comes back and finds Simba, and Rafiki is over there somewhere with his stick. And he says, "It is time. It is time. It is time." Our ancestors are leaving. The ones in the 60s, 50s, and 60s who did all of the civil rights work and all of the heavy lifting, they're leaving. It is time for some of us to step up. Right? So when you hear that call, that voice inside yourself, you have to trust yourself. You have to step out on faith. And I'm not talking about just in a civil rights movement. I'm saying you may be the person that's being called to change your family for generations. You may be the person that's being led to do something different. Don't fall into, well, my mama did it or my daddy did it, and so if they were like that, then I'm just gonna be like that too. I'm destined to be like that. No, no, you're not. You're a different person. So trust yourself. When certain things keep happening, when certain things line up, those synchronicities, those are all messages. And so you just got to pay attention and invite the stillness in. That's why being alone is important. I know so many people like, oh man, I never want to be single. I don't want to be by myself. I used to, in my late 20s, or mid 20s to late 20s, y'all, I was in this relationship and it was a horrible relationship. It went for 6 years. It shouldn't have been more than 6 months. But I didn't want to be alone. You know, was that Betty Wright? Whoever, piece of man, half a man, better than no man. Right. But there got to a point where I could not be with him anymore. So I had to be alone. Like, it was better to be alone than to be in that relationship. And that whole transition, that period taught me a lot. So you have to get to a place where you know how to live with you before you can ever embrace being with somebody else, especially in a coupling romantic relationship type way. But get to know yourself, you, what you like, what you need, not what everybody else does. And don't be afraid to forge your own trail. Don't be afraid to be the friend that's weird or that's different or that says no thank you when you're asked to do certain things. That could be saving your life. That small, still voice could be sending you a message for a reason. And it's hard, again, particularly if you're young. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I judge you a little bit when you still give in to peer pressure and you're like 32 and above. But sometimes it's hard to say no, right? Or to say, maybe we shouldn't do this. But you don't know what you could be saving yourself from. When those plans go awry, it's usually for a reason, right? Oh, right. Thank you so much. Thank you. That is a very gracious compliment. I'm just running my mouth at this point because I was supposed to be off of here. I said I wasn't going to talk to y'all longer than an hour, so I'm finna go because I got to be at work in the morning. Jay St. Clair, thank you so much for the birthday wishes. Nuckin' Futz. I see what you did there. I love being alone. I do too, a lot of the times. But sometimes you want to be with somebody else too. Sapphire, thank you so much for the birthday wishes. Auntie Eva, that's a lesson that's hard learned but well worth it. All these lessons are hard learned, y'all. None of this stuff is like stuff that happened overnight. I have bumped my head more times than I can count. I am hard-headed. I am somewhat stubborn. Ain't no somewhat. I am stubborn. I am bossy. And so that's why I'll try to give y'all a little bit of the game so that you don't have to learn those lessons. There's this meme, and I actually have it saved in my phone. I should have, but I didn't have time to that's why y'all just listen to me talk and there are no funny clips or slideshows and stuff because I didn't have time. But there's this meme where a little girl is holding a teddy bear, right? And Jesus, I think the illustrator is meaning it to be Jesus. It was white Jesus, but we just gonna say it was Jesus, is standing there and he's holding a big old, when you go to the fair, you see the big old like life-size teddy bears. He's holding that bear behind his back. And the little girl is holding on to the little teddy bear and is saying there's like this thought bubble or speech bubble, I guess, where she says, but God, I love it. I keep that in my gallery because it speaks to me in so many ways. So many times we hold on to things in life because we're scared of the unknown or we think something is better than nothing. And we can't imagine that there could be things out there that's bigger and better than what we currently have. And especially for people who have childhood trauma or PTSD, where you just didn't have a lot of good things go your way in life, and you've been out there scratching and surviving. You're in survival mode, so you're holding on because you've worked so hard for just the little things that you do have. And the whole time, God is like, but I got so much more. If you listen to what I tell you to do, I have so much more, right? And I have done that, y'all, so many times in my life. That relationship that I just talked about, we lived together, long story, but whatever. And I knew for at least the last 2 years of the relationship that this ain't gonna work, this ain't gonna work. But I didn't want to be alone. I was definitely hard in my people pleasing phase. I did not want him to, because when breakups grow bad, at least with that person, I knew he was going to talk about me like a dog to his family, to his friends. He was going to put it all on me. I was going to be everything under the sun. And finally, our relationship went so far that I know y'all, we done canceled Pope Chrisette Michelle, but Chrisette Michelle had a song called Blame It On Me, Say It's My Fault. That I was singing that song at the end of that relationship. Baby, tell them whatever you gonna tell them, because I'm done. And it wasn't until I finally got out of that relationship that I was just by virtue of time, it was time for me to graduate from social work school. But maybe a month after I broke up with him, he moved out of my apartment. I finally got a job in my career. My life started changing because I finally got out of an environment in a situation that God had been told me to get out of. But I was scared. And I thought this comfort, this familiarity of this relationship was better than the unknown. Now, if I had listened 3 years before, how much further could I have been in my life or in partnership with someone else who was better suited in a relationship? You know, same thing about different jobs. Well, if I take this risk, if I go over here, I might have to take a pay cut. We're scared to do that sometimes. I had to take, at one point in my career, I had to take an $8,000 pay cut. And I wasn't making a lot of money. So 8,000 was a lot. I took an $8,000 pay cut. Why? Because this other job was going to give me litigation experience. I was going to be in the courtroom, actually representing people. That $8,000 pay cut, 3 years later, led me, the experience that I gained by taking the $8,000 pay cut. 3 years later, I applied for a job that was worth $30,000 more. That sent me into a whole nother tax bracket. That's life, y'all. Sometimes you gotta go back to go forward. It's uncomfortable. I had to change my budget. I had to cut back on stuff. Wasn't no shopping. I like to, play some blackjack every now and again. Wasn't any gambling. It was a lot of four for fours. But it's what I had to do to leap forward 3 years later. So trust yourself. More importantly, trust God. And when an older person tries to give you a little roadmap or a little advice, don't think that they're just trying to ruin your fun or they're just stopping they don't understand because they old. One thing that I definitely have learned as I've gotten older, and my mom used to always say, there is nothing new under the sun. I laugh now. So many of my friends have kids that are preteens or teenagers, and they'll tell me how their kids are like trying to get over on them or trying to sneak out of the house and do different things. And I just am tickled because I'm like, y'all, every generation thinks they're doing something new. New Orleans, one of their black mayors back in, I was in law school, so this was '06, right after Katrina. So he was the mayor during Katrina and right after Katrina. C. Ray Nagin. I love me some Ray Nagin, y'all. Unfortunately, after his mayorship ended, he was found guilty, arrested and found guilty of some fraud, right? And ended up going to jail. They did a whole American Greed episode on him. So if y'all aren't from Louisiana or familiar with who C. Ray Nagin is, although the American Greed episode clearly only focuses on the fraud, I think it's still interesting to watch. Y'all know I love American Greed. It's on CNBC. If you don't watch it, you should watch it. If you like Dateline and things like that, it is crimes, but white collar crime. So anyway, C. Ray Nagin came into Home Depot when I was working at Home Depot. This was back when people still used actual like digital cameras. Like I had my Nikon 350, whatever, honey. When I worked at Radio Shack, I became a gadget girl. So I always had the best top of the line, everything. So I would keep my digital camera on me. And so I saw him in the store and I was like, oh my God, see Ray Nagin. This was after he had stood on the steps of City Hall and announced that New Orleans was Chocolate City. So, and if y'all know, that made a bunch of people mad, right? So I loved him. I went to my locker at work and got my camera out. So I was like, I have to get a picture with him. His wife was rolling her eyes and she was like, don't ask him for a picture. He already thinks he's a celebrity. And I'm like, he is. Anyway, I took a picture with him. And back then, you used to actually go to like Walgreens or somewhere and get your pictures printed out, where they had like this kiosk where you could add things to the picture, like text or stickers or whatever. So I went and I added a banner across the bottom of the picture when I printed out, and it said me and the HNIC, right? HNIC. Now, if y'all don't know what that means, it's the head Negro in charge, but instead of Negro, it's the other word. But I'm not gonna say that on YouTube because I don't know who watching, and all y'all can't say that word. Anyway, so I printed the pictures out. And back then, you would just let people see your pictures. So I took them home because it was a bunch of pictures. It wasn't just that. It was different stuff from me in law school. So as my family is going through the pictures, one of my aunts saw the picture and she was like, Plez. I'm like, what? And she's like, I know what this means. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she was pointing to that picture. And I was like, what? And she's like, I know what this means. And I was like, what do you mean, auntie? She's like, I know what this means. And y'all, I was floored because my little 23, 24-year-old self thought I was being clever. Like I didn't think I made it up, but I didn't think my, I don't know, 50, 60-year-old aunt knew what HNIC meant. She was like, girl, we said that in the 40s and 50s. People have been saying that. And I was just like, oh, that's not new. So that's just a silly story. But it is representative of the fact that every generation thinks that they're smart, thinks that they're doing something new. And you're not. It may be different, especially now with social media, but nothing's new under the sun. Everything that you do or are doing has been done before. And so, don't be discouraged if you try to talk to your younger cousins, siblings, children, nieces, nephews, and they don't listen. Still teach them what you need to teach them. And whether they take heed to it in that moment or not, eventually they will. They'll see that mama, sister, cousin, auntie was right, and you will have done your job. So thank you so much, Heather Marie, for the birthday wishes. Um, Nuck and Fut says, trust the universe and know that you are where you should be on your journey. Absolutely. And you are preaching to me as well. So, y'all, it's 2 hours. I hope you all have enjoyed this chat. I hope you all got something from it. I don't know if I'm going to keep this video up or not because this lighting is horrible and I really got to work on that no matter where I film in here. The lighting is so weird. But I didn't feel like moving, so it is what it is. But yeah, I just wanted to have some real talk with you all. Thank you all again so much for the gracious super chats, cash apps, well wishes, just the happy birthday messages. I love it all. The content in the channel will, of course, still be some reality TV shows. That's not going away, you all. But again, if you want to revisit my Welcome to Scared of Beautiful, that initial video that I posted, talking about my channel and what I wanted it to be about. I'm also going to be doing some other content, and the YouTube gurus will tell you that you should start a new channel and put all that other stuff on the other channel. But again, y'all, this is a hobby for me. I don't have time to be keeping up with 2-3 different channels and posting content to all of them. So everything is going to be right here on Scared of Beautiful. I hope you enjoy all of it. I hope you engage with all of it. But if it's something that you don't like, just skip over it and hopefully the next video will be for you. I'm going to be going back on another weight loss. I'm not even going to call it a journey. Again, in my 40s, I'm going to take heed to my own advice. So I have lots of goals for these next 10 years, and I have to do the work to make sure that those goals are met. I got to meet God halfway. Faith without works is dead, y'all, and that's absolute true tea. So I'm going to be doing, but I'm not going to say that, oh, you can follow this journey, because I don't know about y'all, but weight loss stuff for me gets super repetitive. There's only so many what I eat in a day that you can watch. And when I lost weight before, I would tell people all the time, they would be like, oh my God, what did you do? I did what the doctor tells you to do. For everyone who's out there, and I know, we got Ozempic, we got Wegovy, we have all types of things. You have weight loss surgery, and it's no shame or shade to anyone who uses any of those tools to get what they want to get. I will not be using any of that right now. I did not use it before. And it's for several reasons, personal reasons, that I'm not open to any of that right now. But I will never judge anybody else's journey. For me, I can honestly say that I did not have a hard time with weight loss once I actually put my mind to it. So being in a calorie deficit, so that means watching what you eat, cutting out some things, sweets, candy, carbs, a lot of carbs. Some good carbs are good for you. Soda, pop, whatever you want to call it. Moving your body, even walking, for that 115 pounds that I lost before, I lost 50 or 60 of it just off of diet. I hadn't even started exercising yet. And when I did start exercising, I was walking. I started walking at least 30 minutes a day. So I've done it before. Unfortunately, I had a setback because of my emotional eating and grief, but I'm going to do it again. So I may, just post some updates here and there on that type of stuff. Um, and just more community building and different types of topics, more joy building, because that's really what I'm about. Like I said, I have a very playful nature, but at the end of the day, for me, life is about making memories and bringing joy to yourself, to your loved ones, and to the world. So the things that are funny to me, the things that I think are missing in this content space, that's what I want to bring. So it's going to be interesting. I want to see, um, you know, that you all are happy with the new content. But like I said, some of it is not even just about other people being happy. It's about, as a creative person, I can't always just, be creative at my job. So YouTube for me is really a place to be creative and to try different things. So I'm still going to be covering some reality TV shows. As I've said before, I'm not really a gossip person. If I see something in the news or blogs that I want to talk on, like when Juan Dixon got fired, then I will. But don't expect me to be that person that like is posting gossip stuff every day, or every consistently, because that's just not me. I am reviewing right now. I still haven't seen, y'all, this second episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville, but I'll try to watch it before the next episode and get you a review on that. I'm also going to be watching, of course, the Bell Collective, honey, because they're from Mississippi. And I'll be watching what else is coming on in May. Real Housewives of Atlanta. For those who don't know, I am definitely Team Twirl. I'm a Kenya Moore fan. But with all of these shows, y'all, I'm going to give you my honest, straight opinion, no matter who the person is, whether I like them or not. I am not a stan of anybody. I don't believe that people never do anything wrong or make mistakes. I always call it how I see it. So you can expect that from me for any show that I review. I like Candy, I love Kenya, but I'm, all of this drama that so far is supposed to be coming down the pipeline will be very interesting to watch. Hey DG, protein, vegetables, walking for stress. That's it. That's the recipe, and water, girl. Nucket Fuck says keto always works for me. I've never truly tried keto. What I did before was sort of akin to keto, because I really did go seriously low carb. But keto also wants you to restrict your your fruits, and I wasn't doing that because COVID had just came out, and if oranges have lots of vitamin C, they also have lots of sugar, but I was eating those oranges, bananas too. So the biggest thing with any diet, when people are like, oh, keto works, Weight Watchers works, Atkins works, being was being the carnivore diet, it works. Eating only fish, it works. It all works if you work it. You have to be consistent. Like I said before, the other tip I gave, keep swimming. You have to be consistent and you have to be disciplined. Of course, you may make a mistake, you may fall off, you'll have a cheat day, get back on it the next day. Anything works, unless if you're doing something consistently and 6 months goes by and there's no change, you may need to go to the doctor and get a physical. There may be something going on with your hormone levels where you need some things adjusted. But for the most part, it works. Just work it. So, thank you so much, DGF, for the super chat. My 40 plus advice: remember to use sunscreen, decolletage too. Avoid grimacing, the furrowed brow, and stretch. Girl, thank you so much. And I'm definitely going to need some help with the grimacing and the furrowed brow. My mom used to always be like, you wrinkle up your face just like your dad. And I do. My facial expressions can be on 10,000 sometimes. So, and some things that I think are just natural. I clench my jaw a lot. So, believe me, my dentist and everybody else is fussing at me about that. But no, those are some great, black don't crack, but you know, some of my friends have started getting Botox, and I was like, no, I like doing this with my with my eyebrows and my in this big old forehead. Jesus, y'all, my hair is doing the most today. But anyway, um, yeah, it all works if you work it and if you keep going with it. So, like I said, the content won't be changing per se, but it will definitely be more varied. And so I'm working on getting in a space. I want to set up a good space in my recording space because I really am working on the quality. So, lighting, camera, all these things in different formats, like not these super long videos where we're just talking and rambling and chatting, but also more pre-records. I hear you all in the comments, and I know some people really like the lives, but just with where I am right now, I don't my life is not conducive to going live all the time. So there definitely will be more pre-records. I will try to do the occasional live when I can, but um I think part of that is also me being used to old school YouTube. I like a good pre-record because I listen to stuff in the background when I'm at work. Like I'm either listening to music or I'm listening to something that I have saved in my watch for later for YouTube. So I appreciate a good pre-recorded video, and I will be doing more of that. Asara, happy birthday, Plez. Thank you so much. Jim says that nicest. Size forehead will never have wrinkles. Taken from a baby face boomer. Okay, yay. That's one thing that I do love about my round face. It is very youthful looking for the most part. So I'm thankful to God for that and good genetics. Shout out to Big Players for that. But yeah, um, I hope you all got something from it. Give people grace, but don't let them back in your space. No man is an island, but don't hop on every ship that passes by. Grow up, but still be a kid. Just keep swimming, be present, and always trust yourself. So, I love y'all. I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all so much for spending this hump day, this Wednesday with me for my birthday. I wasn't out partying. I did go after work and had dinner and drinks with a few friends, but it's a weeknight and I have to be back at work tomorrow. So there wasn't too much partying. So I was able to spend some time with y'all. I am going to be partying, hopefully, a little bit throughout the month. There's some concerts that I want to go to. And when I was laughing, when I was talking about Beyonce tickets, somebody was like, well, I'm not paying for her. So you make sure you record it for me. Girl, I'm going to be present. Being present means enjoying the concert. I look back at my phone right now, y'all. I probably have videos from Beyonce's On the Run tour with Jay-Z. I don't go back and look at those videos. So why are they just taking up space in my phone? I am going to fully embrace everything that Beyonce has for us in the Renaissance, honey, because she already hasn't given us any videos yet. We don't know what these visuals are going to be. So I want to be fully present for the concert. And now I'm just talking. I don't know if y'all know, but if you don't follow Raphael Sadiq on Facebook, I mean on Instagram or social media or whatever, Raphael Sadiq has decided to reunite with Tony. They're going on tour this year. They have not announced the dates, y'all, and I'm over here going crazy because wherever Tony will be, I will go. I normally don't travel for a bunch of concerts. I'm willing to travel for this one because maybe in like 08, 09, somewhere around there, maybe 2011. I can't remember. The years get blurry after a while, right? In New Orleans, they had an old school concert tour, kind of like what everybody is joking on SWV about when all these groups go out together. They had Drew Hill. It was, I think Keith Sweat was headlining. It was Drew Hill, maybe Jay Holiday, and Tony. Y'all, when I tell you what you call those people? Promoters almost had a riot on their hands. They literally had to come out and offer to give people their money back because instead of Tony, we got Tony, Anthony, and Antonio, child. I don't know who those people were. But what we did know was that it wasn't Tony. Raphael Sadiq was nowhere with them. So on that speak on it, when Candy was saying she had them do Escape 3 because people were coming to her social media mad because she wasn't there. I you know, I wouldn't have done that. I like Escape. I don't feel for Escape the way I feel for Tony. And that flyer did not tell us that Raphael Sadiq wasn't with them. Now, I'm not rude, so I wasn't booing those people, but there were people who were booing them and who felt bamboozled because Raphael Sadiq wasn't on that stage. It was the Dwayne guy, and I like Dwayne. Dwayne did a really good job with Slow Wine. He leads that song, but he's not the voice of Tony. Child, Dwayne had his cousin, a nephew, or somebody over there trying to sing Raphael's parts, and it was no good. They had to come out and offer to give people their money back because, in addition to Tony, Anthony, and Antonio, Drew Hill was missing, I think, Jazz. Jazz had missed his flight or something, so they just had to tell the people, look, if you come to the front right now, you can get a refund. If you stay, then you stay. So I stayed because I wanted to see Keith Sweat, but I knew never again would I ever go to a concert where they said Tony was playing. But now Raphael has decided to rejoin Dwayne and whoever else, and I am here for it. I listen to some form of Tony song almost every day. If it's not Anniversary or Slow Wine or Just Me and You, child, all of them. It Never Rains in Southern California. If I Had No Loot. I love Tony. Anyway. Oh, Princess said, I can imagine people saying, who the F is that? Yes! Girl, it was pitiful. Anyway, y'all, go to bed. I'm about to go to bed. If you ain't going to bed, enjoy your nights. And I love y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Bye bye. Let me figure out what I'm doing. I'm looking at all the wrong stuff, y'all. I'm still looking at y'all's comments. But thank y'all so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the chat. I hope you look forward to the channel and the content that's to come. And I thank you all again for the well wishes for my birthday and for the 20,000 subscribers. All right. Love y'all. Talk to you later. Bye.